So we're gonna run through the trading today. It's Tuesday, September 17th. I made like 3 videos today, and all of them been choppy. So we're gonna hope today this last video is good, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So going into today, I had a really bullish bias, and we can check right here. We can see I'm on a wrong contract. That's why we got a big gap right here. But I'm very, very bullish, as we can tell. Price is pushing toward the upside. So I just made my key levels at the resistance. I got my levels right here. I got my levels right here. Right, and those were the main levels that we were trading at. We also had a little bit of support right here, but I didn't wind up marking it up. I winded up just marking up some levels from the actual 15-minute. But anyway, y'all know I like to take my trades around 9:30, 9:45. So today I'm going to show y'all the trade that I did take, and I'm going to show y'all the trade that I wish I took, the trade that I probably should have took, and I'm going to explain why I didn't take it. So we're just going to get right into it. All right, so looking on the 5-minute, this is 9:25. This is a 9:30 candle, right? Right at 9:30, we came and we swept London's highs. So that right there would be our liquidity sweep that we needed. So boom, we got our first thing, run a sweep on liquidity. Came up to this level, we rejected. At that point, I created this box because we got a strong rejection with strong rejection with strong rejection with, right? So that's a 9:30 candle, right? Fast forward. Now we have our market structure shift that we were looking for, okay? So boom. Market structure shift. Bet. All good, right? So now we got 2 out of 3 of our criteria that we wanted. Now we're waiting on a valid break and retest of a key level or a fair value gap. So right here on the 5-minute, I see that we got this strong rejection wick at this key level. This 15-minute support level, and it's also a fair value gap, and I see that we're wicking right there. Okay, so from that point I go down to the 3-minute, and this is the initial setup that I wish that I would have taken, but we'll go back through that and why I didn't take it. We're gonna go over what I lost up. So at this point, I'm waiting on the price to get back up, and if we pay attention, we kind of got a little supply right here on the 3-minute and the 5-minute, right? So I marked up the 3-minute supply. We are back in that supply zone. We are back in that supply zone right now, okay? So I'm like, all right, bet. Let's see what price wants to do right here in this supply zone. We can see price didn't close above the supply zone. We wicked out of it, but we didn't close. Once again, we wick out of it, but we don't close. Okay, wick out of it, we don't close below. Alright, this candle winded up bullish, and I said, okay, if we end up bearish, or we end up following this bullish candle with a bearish candle, I'm going to get in and I'm going to aim for these lows, or at least right here, right? So a real quick 1 and 3. Instead of making my stop so tight, I winded up putting them up here, right? So boom, that candle was, that candle was bearish. I entered. Right, so as you can see, the trade winded up coming down and giving us a nice bearish push for a second. And however, I got stopped out. So the first question I asked myself is, and I'm not taking any of these trades live, I'm taking a week off so I can desensitize my emotions from the market, and I'm also taking a week off so I can kind of like just take a step back, practice my strategy, and just take a chill pill, because I've been blowing accounts and fucking up. So I'm just trying to kind of learn in this one. But the first thing I want to ask myself is, what could I have done different on this trade? So number one, I could have made my stop loss a little bit tighter, right? Could have aimed for a good 1 or 2. And we can see if I made my stop loss tighter and if I would have aimed for a 1 or 2, this actually would have been a valid setup. I would have won before getting stopped out, right? But the way I like to trade, I like to catch at least 50 pips a day. And I mean, you could say I'm being greedy or whatever you pretty much want to say, but looking back at this setup, I don't think that it was the best setup. We did get our liquidity sweep. We did get our own market structure shift. and we did get our break and retest of the key level at this supply. So we got everything that we needed, and I'm going to highlight this break and retest right here. Yeah. So we got everything that we needed to get in the trade, but I still don't think that this was the best setup I could have taken today. You know what I'm saying? So I could have won the setup if I would have made my stops a little bit tighter and went for a 1 or 2. But I like getting bigger moves, so I made my stop bigger, and I wanted to aim for these lows. Now, what was wrong with me taking this trade today? I initially had a bullish bias, number one, and on top of me having a bullish bias, there was a move that had played out down here. So we all know I lost this move. Let me show we can stop out one more time. And actually, after I got stopped out, I think it's worth noting that look at how price tanked for the rest of the day. Price absolutely tanked. So I could tell that price wanted to go towards the downside, but what I missed was buy side liquidity up here. So I'm so used to price only interacting with, not necessarily only interacting with London's high and low liquidity, but that's all I really be caring about, right? And another thing to note is that we were already on top of yesterday's high. So I had a feeling that there was no need for the market to continue up. But I didn't take into consideration that there was buy side liquidity above that needed to be taken out before we continue to move down. I just thought that London's liquidity would be enough. But my trader friend pointed that out to me that, hey, there's liquidity above. And after we took that buy side liquidity at 10:45, because I stopped trading at 11, so around 10:45, I'm about ready to close stuff down. But if I would have waited a little bit more, waited on this buy side liquidity to get taken out, and simply just taking a trade at an hourly key level, because this is a 4-hour liquidity resistance level. Boom. I could have gotten in right after this morning star or evening star, whatever one it is, or for that form, I could have just gotten in on that entry, and I would have had a great day. But it's still a great day because I'm learning. If I wouldn't have gotten in on that entry, I could have gotten in right here and taken this entry. But that's just what I could have done better. I could have either made a tighter stop loss and just took a quick 1 or 2, or I could have just aimed towards the buy side liquidity, waited for that to get swept, and then take a trade or short in the opposite direction. But let's go back to what I could have did different altogether. Right. So the 3 things that I am looking for when I take a trade are liquidity sweep, market structure shift, or break instruction. Even though I had already gotten all of that, and if we look right here, we can see that this was a pretty clean setup overall. So, all right, let's just move this 3-minute supply. And I'm not gonna lie, I could have even, we got this liquidity sweep, we got this market structure shift right here. I could have even gotten back in right here and took a short right here, but I really wasn't present in the market today that much, and it still would have gotten me a 1 to 3. Like I could have even done that. Now that I'm looking at it, I could have even done that. So this still would have been a good setup because we got a break and retest on this key level. We got a market structure shift to the downside. We retested. We had our liquidity sweep. So this would have been a good setup too. And I didn't even pay attention to this one. But anyway, the setup that I want to talk about is this one down here and the reason why I want to talk about it is because I haven't been trading a 1-minute chart because I've been very fearful. But if I would have taken a trade on a 1-minute chart, or at least analyzed a 1-minute chart, I would have seen that I had everything I needed to get in a trade. So let's take a highlight at it real quick. So we see the 2 trades that I could have taken, and but whatever. Let's move on to what I really wanted to take. So considering the fact that I had a bullish bias, I should have really settled for buys. I should have been patient and kind of looked for a buy to line up. So as we can see right here on this 3-minute chart, we got a very, very obvious liquidity sweep on London's lows. So I'm gonna mark that up real quick. We got a liquidity sweep on London's lows, and we also, this was the fair value gap. We are also wicking off of this fair value gap. There was one right here, and we are holding the support. So at this point on the 3 minute, once I'm seeing this, what I also could have done was scale down into the 1 minute. Only paying attention to the 1 minute once we're at a key level to see. So we see we got our liquidity sweep, right? Boom. At this point, we have a market structure shift. It's a pivot. That's what I call it. I don't know what everybody else calls it, but it's like a good market structure shift, good pivot point for me. So let's just put market structure shift. We got a good market structure shift right here on the 1 minute. So that's 2 of our criteria. But next, all I'm waiting for is a valid break and retest of a key level or fair value gap. So fear of the 1 minute chart, because of the fact that I have blown so many accounts trading a 1 minute chart recklessly, I have been just trying to abstain from it altogether. But this would have been an awesome setup to take on a 1 minute chart, because we had our liquidity sweep, we had our market structure shift, we could have put our stops right here, really tight stop loss. And then we could have aimed for the buy side liquidity right here. We have a lot of internal liquidity right here with these fair value gaps that need to be filled, right? And we could have gotten a good, aim for buy side liquidity. All right, so enter on the middle of that fair value gap. That fair value gap got tested. We also got a good 1 minute demand right here that I did not see, right? So we test that fair value gap. Boom. Now, a 1 or 2 or aiming right here would have been a good little target to not get overzealous, because we did consolidate a little bit before hitting that 1 to 3, but we can still take a minute and see that after a lot of playing around, the trade still winded up hitting our 1 to 3 target and taking out that buy side liquidity. So with all that being said, this would have been the setup that I would have liked to take if I was just 100% dialed in and locked in. And even if I was fearful of trading the 1 minute chart directly, I could have looked at the 1 minute and just seen what all was going on and been like, okay, let me still take it on a 3 minute, break a candle. You get what I'm saying? Or take it above this market structure shift. I could have taken it right here, got in at the break of this red candle, after that engulfing, and I still would have gotten a good 1 or 2 trades with my stop below the lowest low. Still would have gotten a good 1 or 2 trades. So I say all that to basically say, today I kind of learned a lot about being fearful in the market and trusting my levels, trusting my experience, and trusting my setup. Because with my bullish bias, this definitely would have been the trade of the day. So it is Q4, it is Q4. We got elections coming up. And I'm not gonna lie, the market is definitely getting a little bit harder to read. Things are getting a little bit more difficult. Price action is a little bit more choppy, but the principles and concepts are still the same. So I think the learning point for me today was just to take a chance on my setup. When I see something that looks recognizable, just go ahead and run it, because right here we got the long rejection wick. You know what I'm saying? We got the morning star, evening star pattern that we want. The only thing that we had to do was just take a risk. Risk my 125. If I would have lost, I would have lost. Risk another 125, and then, I still would have been at my $250 max loss limit. But this was a really, really clean setup that I kind of wish I would have taken a part of. If it was any setup today, I think this definitely would have been the one. But all in all, it still was a learning period. I'm not taking no trades live right now. So this is what I'm doing this for. You know what I'm saying? I see I had a setup right here that I could have taken and gotten in. I could have taken this setup right here after we got this market structure shift and this break and retest. So I definitely could have taken that sell for a 1 or 2. And we see that even went for not necessarily a 1 or 2, but I could have taken that sell and just stopped right here at the lows. And I also could have gotten back in at that market structure shift on a 1 minute on that fair value gap and gotten in. So all in all, it was a very, very good learning opportunity today. I'm not gonna say it was the best price action, but it was opportunities to take some good trades. So The only thing that we can do now is show up tomorrow, gain a little bit more confidence, a little bit more experience, and just continue to grow and get better. But those are my trades for today, and I'll be back tomorrow.